Monna ke koma.
Nana to batla ke batho ka di thipa tla koma ke mmao
Ne ba bolela mola ba responda ba.
ke mang wa tswang komeng ko o motsibang ko around batho ba re le bona
Mojale fa o tswa komeng. Ba go bona re ba tswa komeng ke ba butshile tswa koma ba ditsebe ka moka. Nna ke a ditseba tse dingwe tsa ona.
I think it's
Ka re
different
mo ke tswang
yeah
ba ntsha koma.
na magofa eo
Ba ntsha koma.
kasi magofa ke hamans magofa ke social nguve
E mona se ke tlhakatlhakana mo. Maybe the extra ka din sendetse.
ba re dirang gana
Hey, you look good.
oh nice
Oh, thank you.
nice no man
I'm married, happily married. Kgopela le tlogeleng go nsendela
oh
di-
another question okay last thing is
Yeah.
the issue of marriage
Yeah.
do you I personally advise against it. There's no evidence of it working out. But there seem to be a lot of people who still get married. I'm like, based off what? The statistics of divorce are definitely much higher. What is this right?
Yeah, but my friend. I mean, go rata motho ke go rata motho, Jo. Right? And
so lenyalo le tsena kae?
yeah, so there's a difference between batho ba go nyalla benefits that okay, if I'm married, if we divorce, this and this will happen.
Yeah.
And gona batho ba gore e monna lona ra ratana. Nothing changes. Wapara roke ura ema mola or wapara whatever that you wear in your traditional garment, and we stand there and we all get married. It doesn't change anything. Right. And the pressure, what I don't understand me is the pressure of getting married, you know. I will get married at some point, but I don't want, in my head, I don't want marriage to be something I'm chasing.
What is this reason for you to get married? What is this itch?
It's not something that I have an itch on, right? But it's a thing that when you love your partner and you and your partner are building towards something, marriage becomes part of the things that will happen, right?
But why? Why must it happen? I'm trying to figure out like.
But why should we have in this partnership? We have a name, right? We have papers that officiate what we are doing as partners.
Okay.
We grow things together. We're building this company together. We don't know what this is going to be. I mean, we are episode 3 and we are figuring it out. Marriage is also figuring things out. That if it doesn't work, can I have my share? You have your share. And if I die, can my partner bury me? Can I bury my partner? Can I?
I like that. I like the idea of getting married despite the possibility of divorce.
Yeah.
I think people tend to get married thinking that they are somehow immune to the divorce.
No.
You're going to divorce.
How many people you've been in a relationship with thinking
broke
that
up
this
with,
is
this is the one.
one?
Yeah.
But at the end, it
didn't work out,
It's not the one, you know. And also, it's learning self. It's also understanding who are you in the greater scheme of life. Who is Masai? Would Masai really live his life with a woman in the house 24/7? Like, it's also being honest with yourself, you know. And also, I think men have this fear of being honest with their partners. That look, this is where I'm at, and this is how I think, and this is what marriage is to me.
Why is that?
I don't know. Are you going to get married?
Yes, but for the only reason I'm getting married,
When?
I don't know.
Rukisha Musoli?
The only reason I'm getting married is to officiate the families. Nothing to do with me and her. Something to do with everybody else to whom we love. Right? Because if I'm spending my days and nights and this person, the least is my parents could know about that to that degree. And marriage sort of offers that relationship. It officiates that relationship. So my marriage for me, it would be the officiating of this union, right? Not evidence of love of anything. What? No. I'm just saying, what do you mean I'm not saying I want to meet someone I don't love.
Oh.
No, I'm not saying, but the marriage the marriage isn't the evidence of it. It doesn't prove it for me.
But marriage is a beautiful thing when it's done right.
That's fine, but I'm just saying.
And from your point of view, where you're saying to officiate there's two families, it's a beautiful thing to officiate. But you're officiating them because you and this particular individual, you are building life together.
Yeah.
And this particular individual will wake up next to you, wake up next to them. If anything happens, they need to call this particular individual. And if it doesn't work, you still call the same families and say it did not work out. Right?
So that's nothing to do with love. That's protocol. That's not love. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like...
Then why?
No, but it's not. It's like...
I understand.
No, but it's like when you get a job, right? They do sort of ask numbers of your peers, numbers of your... Next of kin.
In case of emergency.
It's exactly that.
So it's not because they love you. With reference.
Yeah. It's not because they love you at work. It's because like, if you burn, who do we call in this situation? I think that's what marriage is for me. It's like... Also, it's also understanding that
traditional is not only that. Traditionally is you need to leave your ancestors and go to my ancestors. So that you take my surname and then me and you we do that and then we give birth to kids and we raise our kids and all of that. So marriage becomes the beginning of that. But now we can define it the way we want to.
In theory, that's what it's for. In theory, but. Yeah, it's not practical. There's no evidence of that in this day and age.
You get...
It's not practical.
There's beautiful love in this day and age. There's beautiful love.
But then that's a rare thing. What's common isn't that. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't aspire for it.
Why are you sounding like, why are you against love?
I'm not against love. I'm for logic. I'm for evidence.
No, but now he's against love and like...
I'm for evidence and logic.
Bruh, you can be with someone. So here's the thing. I will never give up on love.
Who's giving up on love?
You have. Your conversations like, if something happens to this person I'm with, I need to know who I'm going to call. Me, I won't. Me, I love and I love. And if my love doesn't work, we shake hands, we part ways, I go, I love again. And if that's marriage, I'm going to do it over and over and over again.
But who's
losing money? Because
who's losing money? Marriage is expensive. Weddings are expensive.
No. Do you know what kind of wedding we're going to have with my partner?
Which one? The one who you sign and then that's it?
No, we pay lobola nicely, and not lobola as in a woman being sold to her as bidder, but a respect to her family. And then we go to Cape Town. She comes in a white horse. And a 3.5 Chuck Taylor, and a miniskirt, and 3 of my friends and 3 of her friends, and 2 of my family members and 2 of her family members, and that's it.
So who's the third friend? Because there's 2 of us here.
I'm not sure if you'll be there. The way you are treating me today, I don't think you'll be there, guys. I'm not sure. Because the treatment today is very weird.
I'm asking questions, me.
You firstly spoke nonsense about my pants.
What? He's the one who started this shit. He said his pants, what, don't. Like, we didn't care about his pants.
When you're fine, you must direct us and then we...
He started this Satan. I come to you torn, ripped open from all the unstitching. You see, I have been sewed as a man. Pride is an intricate pattern ornated in my skin. Ego is threaded deep in my fabrics. I know how to hide my inner. My material is not see-through. I am known to wear my lungs upon my sleeves for my arms to be breathtaking. Me and you are cut from a different cloth. I was made for winter and rainy days. Took out only when it's cold or grey, or when there is war, for I am armor, made with metals and chains to protect, to not break. I am not a little black number. You will not find silk here. No cotton, just hard leather. Pinya monster is in my denim, in my jeans. Well, at least it was until I learned that the war was within me, trapped in my seam allowance, for I have allowed it there, like wool in a winter coat. But this pattern is old, yet they insisted on designing me into one, said I needed to be strong. No woman would wear me if I cannot protect her. But who protects me? When my leather start to crack and my jeans start to tear. What happens to me in spring when she needs to show off skin? What then? Do I just go back into the closet like the monster I am? Young girls are made aware of the boys they wear, but let's also address the boys. So a little color in his sleeves, a little lace, it's only fur. And remember, girls look good in leather too. What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I'm alright, man. How have you been?
I've been good.
How's fatherhood?
Fatherhood is amazing. It's December time. Fatherhood is a very important role.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been good, man. We've been doing this play, Hangman Snooze, has been hanging me.
Yeah.
So
we've been doing Hangman's News in our own separate spaces, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, now we're doing it literal on stage.
This is true.
We're writing
This is
it.
true. This is true.
So
Yeah.
that has been me. I've been doing that. I've been writing. I'm 51 pages in, and the director decided to cut some of my scripts. But it's amazing. So I've been good. And how have you been, Doc?
I've been alright, man. Something is shifting underneath me, like a tectonic plate type thing. I can feel like I have a shift happening in my life. I think also like these conversations, these episodes that we've been having could be like the catalyst of that. I can't really pinpoint what it is, but you know when you feel like you're moving, but you don't know what it is.
100%.
But my fear is not even a fear, nor a concern. I think it's actually like my curiosity is that I don't know to what direction it's moving, but it's moving, right? So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the next chapter. It's like a slow turn to a next chapter.
We've been in the same space for too long.
Yes, I think I've been in the same space for too long, and something else is forcing me to move. Either it's my creativity, either it's my career. But again, I just want to go back to the fatherhood thing, and which is great. And is it something that you would advise me to do?
Being a father, if you have a right partner, yeah. But it has nothing to do with partners this day. You can find somebody to donate their eggs.
This is true.
It has nothing to do with partners. You can make kids whenever you want to. But it's something that you want, you know? Because sometimes if we think about fatherhood and advising people to be fathers or not to be fathers, it's always around the economy, always around love, it's always about the right person. My guy, I'm meeting me every day. I'm meeting parts of me that I didn't know exist until we did this podcast, until we came into this collaboration of 10 years. There are parts of me that I didn't know exist. But for me, it's an exciting, difficult, enjoyable thing.
And you would advise me to do it?
Do it, my guy.
Okay. Now, because the thing is, what surprised me is like when you have a conversation with like parents, especially new parents, they'll tell you about this immense love that they experience with their kids until you're like, should I do it? They're like, you shouldn't want kids. So like it is that, you know, that paradox that I usually experience with young parents, and maybe you advising it. But why would a parent advise a would-be parent not to be a parent? What do you think is it because of their partner? Or is it because that it might have changed them, you know, drastically? What is it?
It changes you. It changes you drastically. And parenting does not have a manual.
That is true.
Parenting is hard.
Yeah.
So it's something that we don't speak about. We speak about a bundle of joy, but we never speak about the difficulties and the challenges that comes with being a parent and being a creative parent. Being an artist and being young and being a traveling parent. And that on its own, it's a difficult thing. Parenting is hard, my friend. Parenting is hard and is equally beautiful.
Okay.
Right? So the hardness is equals to the beauty. So the hardness pays out with beauty. Let me not say it's equal. Let me rectify that. The hardness or the difficulties
so
that
they balance each other.
They balance each other.
Are there specific things that you would consider as hard? It's like a sort of like a caution tale for like the would-be parents, right? Like someone like me is like, oh, you're gonna be a parent, you should do it, but however, watch out for 1, 2, 3.
One big thing is time. So you are not as free as you are. Once you become a parent, your time needs to be. You need to share that with your kids, right?
Okay,
you cannot travel as freely as you want to.
Okay.
There are things that you're going to say no to. There are passion projects that you're not going to do because you're looking at the bills at the end of the month.
Not selling this parent thing to me.
Yeah, but I mean,
of course, go on.
I mean, in family, we've spoken about this in previous episodes, but with your family, you could say, "Hey, when I'm over Tomdim, asiki gigi, I cannot say, but with your kid, you can't.
You don't have that privilege. Yeah.
Forget, my friend.
Yeah.
So, and ngwana agasere khwedi nka se tshware ke tlala or nka se lwale or I won't do stuff because my father does not have a gig or my mother does not have a gig.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is to look at your kids and say, I'm responsible for this human being.
True.
I brought this human being into this planet.
And another thing is, I think we have to be honest. I think maybe we might have mentioned it in the previous one as well, but we have to be honest about this idea of planning for kids, right? And the majority, dare I say, I'm willing to put myself in there. The majority of, especially first kids, were not necessarily planned. I don't want to use the word mistake, but this is an intentional decision that kids that just showed up. You know what I mean? Because of whatever. Because of sex. Fuck. You know what I mean? Why are we trying to dodge sex? But kids just, and this is not shaming or anyone in that sense. My question is, on top of that, because there's a phenomenon that I've seen where someone becomes a parent and then their life becomes better for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we all have a purpose, right?
Yeah.
But now there's an extra purpose, right? When you have a kid, it's like, okay, I don't want to go record this podcast today.
Yeah.
But when you have a kid, this podcast in the next 10 years or 15 years is going to contribute in raising this kid, you know? So you think for them too. So I don't want to do it, but if I get this 10,000, it's fine. I can pay school fees and pay the swimming for my kid. So that happens, and that's why most people, their lives become better when they have kids. Some they become worse.
Just to drop a quote, actually, on what you're saying, I'm paraphrasing it. It's something along the lines of, the world will become a better place when old men plant trees, the shade of which they will not be under. Something along those lines. Of like, I am planting this tree and I know it will contribute to someone in the future, and I know it won't be me because I know probably I won't be living 10 years or 20 years from now. So
You're not a parent.
Yes.
Why?
I was almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not a parent.
Yes.
Forget the almost bit.
So,
why are you not a parent? What's all that almost was also unintentional. So we're talking about why are you not intentionally a parent?
Yes, okay. In terms of the economy, you think a lot. Also, but then the thing of it being unintentional, of like the thing that almost happened is that you see how that changes your life.
Yeah.
You shift. Because now you're starting to think that, damn it, I can't just be responsible for myself. I now have to be responsible for someone else. And unfortunately, because I feel like my dad raised the standard, right?
I see.
And because of that,
You think you cannot surpass that?
yeah, it's a thing of like flip. Now I was like putting things aside. It's like I have to put money on the side and everything.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think in a different manner, right? So there's something that it does to a human being.
Would
There's
you
a
have
form of
become a better creative if the child came?
I would like to believe so, because them just being in existence, whether they made it here or not, there's something that it pulled out of me, taught me things about myself and about the truth that I would like to share, not only with the world, but with myself.
I think like what you're raising right now, and however important it is, I mean, you said something now about like the reason you are not intentionally a parent is because of the economies, right?
Yeah,
and I've had a conversation with you about that, and I find that's the same reason with me. I don't have a child because of like, I don't think I'm financially stable, right? And it feels like a responsible thing to say, right? But I think below that, there's a more sinister, more darker, more sad, actually, not as much sinister, but more sad, this reality of the majority of us, even those that are parent like you, the reason you're not having a second, third one, the reason I'm not having a first one is this fear of the economy, right? And it is a heartbreaking realization, it's a heartbreaking revelation that are we honestly cutting our bloodlines because of the economy.
I
Because
think
of,
that is a scapegoat.
you know what I mean? Because now we're dealing with the politics of birth, right? So whatever the party that you vote for and how good or bad they do determines whether or not I'll have kids. Is my having children dependent on someone else doing country well? You know what I mean? Like,
It contributes.
I think it's so sad
It
that
contributes,
I
yeah.
can't have kids because someone else.
I mean, you said there's a shift that is happening in your life,
Yeah.
but you cannot really pinpoint what is
Yeah.
happening. There are many shifts that are happening in our lives. I mean, we can't cut our bloodline. At some point, we need to come to a realization that we can't do that. We need to really participate in reproduction, right?
Yeah,
But
have to.
we must.
Why?
Because we perish. I mean, Sipuru is going to perish. If you're the last one,
True,
you age and then
but that's
that's
my
the
point.
end.
Is the bloodline of Supuru dependent on how good economy does? That's
No,
a sad thing to think about.
It depends on how good the Sipurus create their own economy.
Okay, go on.
So if I'm learning to be a father with my kid.
Yeah.
I'm learning finances. I'm learning economy. I'm learning inheritance. I'm learning what to live for her with her existing.
Yeah.
So everything. When my daughter came, I had only 6,000 in my bank account.
Okay.
And I've learned to make the money I have, to have the investments that I have for her. So her being present, she's making it not easier, but she pushes me to create that wealth. So, but Wasipuru, they need to create the wealth for the family. Hence, you need to call everyone who thinks like you in the business that you are in, you know, because you are in the creative industry. Who is there? And if you make $1 million from creative industries, and somebody in your family is in property, how to invest and create wealth. And then to extend your bloodline is not going to be difficult. But if your bloodline is dependent on the future or on the president or the G20 then you would never have kids.
Yeah, you never have kids.
But we need to think about how to make money. I mean, in our current generation, we are selling books, we are selling out auditoriums, we are moving productions, we are making incomes. How to multiply that so that money does not become a factor in the reproduction.
But the thing is, and you're right. I mean, everything you said, I agree with. But the thing is, it's still a factor in that sense. So the question then is, when you said that when your child was born, I mean, I think, your success that you have right now, do you link it back to when you had a child?
No and yes. So one of the things that I think you said it also when I was presenting my work at the Joburg Theatre, that the way I write has now taken a shift.
Yes.
Right? Having a kid and having a relationship with my daughter has given me a different way of writing and really creating and building this world. And she once asked me this question that, most of your plays you write, Papa, I can't watch them. Why? I'm your child. You need to create works that I can watch too. And before that, my thing was, I don't want her to be an artist because of the kind of an artist I was before I heard her. Does it make sense? So with her and what I'm achieving and building now, I don't think she's going to suffer as much as I did.
But do you see the trap that we're setting up? Because you said you would have, perhaps you would have liked to believe that you would have been a better creative if the child did eventually come, right? And you're also saying that since the birth of your child, your work has gotten better and your approach
100%.
to finance is also gotten better.
And business is different.
Business is different.
I don't just do it because...
Yes, but you see that, you know what the trap is? The trap is someone is listening to us now at home and they're unemployed and they're creatively unfocused. And then we're saying that, hey man, have a child, shit will happen for you.
No, they shouldn't do that.
I get you. If you want inspiration in your life, have a child and things will work out for you. That is what you guys are saying to me.
No.
I can imagine someone going like, Flip, I thought I had to be fatherless to be dope. Now I have to be a father to be dope.
Exactly. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, you heal from pain. You heal from pain.
True.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, one of our works,
Yeah.
or most of our works,
Yeah.
that has seen success in this country, even beyond the borders of South Africa, we wrote them from a space of pain.
Uh-huh.
But what happens to those works, because now we are healing?
Hey man, there's some people that are also in that pain that can experience the work.
Yeah, but you don't want to do. You said it yourself. Like, I don't think I still believe in the politics or.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But my point is, guys, this person is creatively scattered. They are not doing well with their lives. They're watching these podcasts. Solly is saying, my life would have been possibly better if the child come. This one says businesses at 6K,
going well.
everything now is going up. I'm like, how now plug? I just need to have a child. So what are you saying then?
Excuse me.
What? Okay.
Wait.
That's his camera, ne?
Yes.
No.
There's a guy. No, wait. There's a guy at home.
Before you
Who's
take me-
unemployed?
No, you take me to the guy after this. Let me
Okay.
say this first.
Yeah.
Because you have this tendencies of doing these things. I'm saying, in my life, I had many people
Yeah.
who shaped and guided me to be the creative that I
Yes.
am. But my daughter was a constant reminder and the motivation not to give up and not to stop.
Yes.
So I cannot say only my daughter made that possible.
Of course.
There was Anita Gonzalez in the US
Yeah.
who she was always
Yeah.
supporting Dr. Refule Lepere,
Yeah.
Antonio Lyons, Waruna Sian. I mean, there's a lot of these people who are around me saying, yeah, do it like this, do it like that, who are very motivational and supportive.
Yeah.
But when I look at my child, I was like, you're not going to go to the schools that I went to. You're not
Yeah.
going to live the difficult
Of course,
life I
of
lived.
course. See, now, you see, it did something, right?
Yes.
Okay, now.
But it's not a kid. That's why I don't want to go to the camera and say.
No,
It's
okay,
not a
fine.
kid who says, yeah, I'm writing bad plays, I'm producing bad poetry and bad music.
yeah.
Let me have a kid and then tomorrow, boom, I'm going to.
Okay, but
No.
Listen, ne? There's a person at home who's unemployed. There's a person at home who's, again, not really focused with their lives in that sense, right? And I'm not saying that the kid will cure it. This hypothetical person that we're talking about also wants a kid. What's your advice to that person?
In terms of like what we were speaking about
Yeah,
now, what
like-
they like, do not just.
Yes.
You know
but
how
do
I see it?
What's your advice for them? Like, do
Yeah.
they just have kids?
No.
Because they want a kid.
Yeah. Okay. If they want a kid,
Yes,
but
they
not
really
in the
want a
name
kid.
of being dope, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like this. You know how
Thank you, sir.
the thing that I can put it is someone would go like Steve Jobs or someone did not finish school, is a dropout. Maybe I should drop out to be able to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah,
how I
yeah,
see it.
yeah,
And someone goes like, let's take it in, make it more interesting and take it to the other side. And it's like, someone finished school and became had a degree or what. Maybe I should finish school and became that and become that.
True, yeah.
So it comes in both ways of what are the intentions behind everything. So I mean, have a child if you think you want to have a child. I know if it wasn't for the economy, or maybe even if the economy was still this way, if I had possibly like, especially like a few years ago, if I ran into someone who was like, I want a child, I probably would have been a father right now.
Is it because of their economy or is it because of your economy? Because like that's what, like you said, like, you know, the bloodline shouldn't suffer because of the country's economy. One must improve their own economy.
Yes.
Right?
Because if you
But
don't.
now my question is, let me finish this one. Which one comes first? Do I improve my economy because I have a child, or do I improve my economy so that I'm making space to have one? But at the end of the day, the economy is in the equation.
It is.
You know what I mean? And
Inevitably.
that's the unfortunate
Inevitably it is.
thing.
100.
That's what breaks my heart, is that
Always.
like the people are not having kids because they're thinking that they are not financially ready. But even if you improve your economy, as much as you want to improve your economy, as much as how hard I can still work, tomorrow I can wake up and the rent is like, you know what I mean,
somewhere
30 rands to $1. However hard, this something else is still doing that to me.
But also, if you do not have a vision and a plan and a strategy to execute things as an individual, obaisha kaibana. Because, I mean, I understand. You cannot remove the economy into the equation. But the reality is you need to have a plan, Masai. You need to know your life, that this is how I'm going to make 100 rand. This is how I'm going to make 200. this is how I'm gonna make 300. This is how I'm gonna make 1 million, and eventually become a billionaire or whatever that you want to be.
Yeah.
But if those things are not in place, my friend,
Yeah.
you just want bread for tonight. Then you do not have a strategy. Then your kid will eat when Mudima Dume, Chile Badima Badume. Mara, you do not have a plan. I always think that we need a plan. Is what you always say that. Hey, you sharp. I like your visions. When? What time? Where?
Yes.
How?
Of course.
And then that becomes an actioning of your ideas.
Yeah.
And then our kids are not gonna suffer.
True. Because another thing that comes, especially if we are unfolding like the economy, it doesn't only translate to the money that I need to give or say for the child.
Okay.
You still have you who you have to take care of.
100%.
So let's say right now, Soli needs like, let's say 1,000 rand to pay a room in Tembisa.
Yeah.
He needs like, with food, he does not even know how much he needs because it depends. Even 500 sometimes if he finds the proper grocery. Right?
I think you must take me where you get groceries for
500, bruh.
Hey, I want this.
I'm just being ambitious.
Yes.
You won't find that. So it's like that. And now you're like looking at the 1,000, even if it's 1.5 for rand, and you're looking at something that a baby needs. Like nappies and everything. We level age into a huggies 600. And on a floco like in a majatro J7. Depending on right? It's a form of compromise that because of the economy being there and because there are some things that you know that you really they are comfort to you because the world is such a heavy thing. There are some things that you use to soften the heart. And now to have a child in the world means that to take that away from yourself. And on top of that, there's an interesting thing that you said there, Nem, because it translates us to how it dictates us not to be fathers. Let's say, like we're saying, like let's not allow it to dictate us to be fathers. And now we have someone who becomes a father, and now they realize that all these reasons why someone did not want to be a father are weighing on them. Is that now the dictation? I don't know if dictation is a word, but is that like the economy that failed to dictate them is doing the same thing, but later on? That everything becomes heavy now, the economy and all those things.
It compounds because it's not, the thing is, the economy will never wait for you. Your economy, the country's economy, the country will never wait for you. But also there's a statistic that is that came out this year that South Africa is experiencing a drop in birth rate, right? Which, as we were talking earlier before the cameras turned on, about like, that phenomena usually happen in well-off countries or first world countries. You'll find that in first world countries, especially the countries that are doing well, the birth rate drops. But when you sort of juxtapose that with what's happening in South Africa, when you put that against what's happening in South Africa, it becomes paradoxical in the sense that we have the highest unemployment possibly in the world, right? But how is that happening at the same time with the drop of the birth rate? Because high unemployment and poverty, and they usually equate to high in terms of birth rate. But in South Africa, it's reversed. There's high unemployment, but there's a drop in birth rate. But also, one of the statistics is either wrong
or something is happening,
or
something really new,
or something else is happening. One of the statistics is wrong. Either the unemployment thing is either pushed further than it needs to be, or there isn't the drop. But if these statistics are both true, if the high unemployment is there and the drop of birth rate is also there, there's something else at work. What is that something else?
To contribute on that, right? As Nkolis is gonna go into it. It was funny but sad at the same time. I remember there was a funeral. Right. And what's about Ronaldo Piri? People, there's someone who represents like the village. He goes there. The guy who like spoke was like, guys, make kids. Like the kids there, they just giving themselves to booze to a point that they don't care about almost nothing else. Right. And it's like, we know, like, you know how bad it is for a parent to be like, guy, guys get laid. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of you
So what
guys.
is that then? What is that? What is the drop in birth rate
But
against the rise in unemployment? Because these two statistics shouldn't be happening at the same time. You know what I mean? So what is it?
South Africa is one of the fast growing economy. South
True,
Africa has the fast growing
So
economy.
something is not something.
We hosted G20.
Yeah,
South Africa has the fast growing economy.
yeah,
Amongst the three of us,
yeah,
the only recorded
yeah.
person who
Who
has
has
a
an
job
who has a job? Yeah,
is Soli.
true.
But all of us,
Yeah,
every
We're fine,
month,
yeah, yeah.
at least once or twice a month,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
3 times a month,
yeah, yeah.
there's money coming into your bank account.
Yes.
And you are not recorded as
Employed, yes.
you are unemployed.
Yeah.
So there's something that is not so right there.
Okay.
That is not so true.
So there's another statistic that needs to happen where
needs to
the
happen.
unemployment is there,
Yes.
but where are these people getting money?
100%. That needs to happen. And
Yeah.
then we can get to the bottom of what we're trying to
But
talk
also,
about.
there's another point that is very important that you raised earlier about gender-based violence and
Yes.
femicide in the country. I think a lot of women don't want to have kids with people that are that violent.
Because they don't know. Because also, these
Yeah.
people are not killed by strangers. They're
Yeah.
killed by men they
By
know.
partners, yes.
By partners.
By partners,
So if you're young and this thing is very continuum and it has this reputation that is happening,
Yeah.
you're bound not to agree to have a kid with a man.
Yes.
You know, you'd also protect yourself not to be in these relationships.
Yeah.
Or you try by all means to, hey, I want to be in a relationship, but because of this is happening, let me wait. And also that can contribute in not having a rising birth rate.
It's very interesting because like what then is this, like you're saying, like the elders, what is their insisting of not having kids? What are their
Our parents said
what are the after effects of a country that is dropping in birth rate? What's the future of that country looking
doesn't
like?
have future.
Because when you're looking at, I think it's one of the Asian countries, I could be mistaken, could be Japan, but one of the Asian countries, like the gap between like the youth and the old people is so big because there's nothing in there,
Yeah.
right? The people are just not having kids anymore. So like they're teenagers and below, it's that demographic is disappearing very slowly, right? So a country is dying.
Yeah.
Is South Africa dying?
No.
South Africans dying.
But
Are
if
South
you-
Africans
if you look
dying
at-
out? I think
Yeah,
dying.
but there's a-
dying and dying out.
Dying out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a depopulation project, right?
Yeah.
And they're focusing on depopulating Africa.
Yeah.
And to depopulate Africa is to take part in this growing economy. The continent that has future in the economy, if it's overpopulated,
Yeah.
they cannot share their resources.
Okay, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there can be, I might be wrong, but there can be some sort of a plan around this thing.
So the plan is to invest in the country such that it becomes a good country, so we don't have kids and they taking our resource. We are very much in the conspiracy theory
Yes, we
space.
Yeah.
We need to be very careful about
No,
where
that's
we
what
are
we're
right
saying.
now. Yeah.
That's why I said my opinion. Is.
Of course.
Yeah,
These
no,
are
man.
a podcast is opinions. These are no
from-
facts. Yeah.
And it's also trying to think about it. If we don't, if you guys don't make kids,
Yeah.
There's a thing that whatever that you're contributing
Yeah.
towards,
Yeah.
there's none of your bloodline that's going to benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend of mine, she once said that the difference with the current generation is they're dreaming about having houses and cars,
Yeah.
right? And live in the suburbs and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the previous generation thought of a free country.
Mm-hmm.
Their dreams were creating a country where me and you can go to
To have a podcast. Yes.
have a podcast, to have
Yes.
this
Yes.
many opinions about life.
Yes.
And
yes.
that is existing. And they were clear when they were dreaming of this existence,
Mm-hmm.
is they knew that I might not be there to live in that reality,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to dream it and I'm going to work towards it becoming a reality.
Yeah.
And the offspring, which we are the offspring of
Yeah.
that, we're living in it, right?
Yeah.
So whatever we're contributing towards the world that we are building with this podcast, with our work, with Soli's work, whatever that we are doing independently, we are contributing to the future that we know that we might not be there to even live in it.
Do you think it's selfish then to not have kids? Because like I have,
Yeah,
you
to
know,
a
like
certain
my work
degree is
my work is
you are selfish.
Like I'm an artist, right?
Yeah.
And my work is selling in the tens and thousands already, and I'm still alive. Obviously, when the older I get, the more work I produce, the more the name carries weight, and when I eventually pass away, it might even be worth more, and I have not want to pass all that down to.
Sure.
Am I then selfish to not do that? Am I selfish to not have a kid? Because also, inversely, I have a kid now, right? Because all this stuff that's saying like, oh, you'll get your life better if you have kids, and like you'll be more focused. That is also not sort of guaranteed with everyone. Because the beginning of this, this whole podcast is investigating fatherlessness, right? Or absent fathers.
Yeah.
So there are people that had kids and did not have the same ambition as you did towards their kid. So it's not like if you have a kid, then therefore you'll be a better human. So is that not also a selfish thing to have kids when you're not prepared to take care of them? You're introducing them into the world where, you know what I mean? They're not ready for this. So there's two things. One, I'm selfish for not having kids because everything that I've created, no one will inherit it. Two, I'm selfish to have kids when I'm clearly not ready for kids. So,
It's a yes. So it's what we were on. In a generic form, I feel like it's Mara. If you're going to an individual, it actually tracks back to what I tried to use as an example. Or there is this scenario. You can go straight into it, but it's not guaranteed that it's going to work for you. So everything that you're going in can make you and break you. Someone will say fatherhood is the most beautiful thing ever.
Yes.
And someone says it's the horrible thing. I do not recommend it.
Yes.
So I think it ties back to that. It's that thing of like, when we're saying like it comes with intentions or it comes with the mistake. And this is what I mean by it comes with a mistake. There is, I can't speak name, of course. There is
a friend of ours.
A young adult, right?
Yeah.
So he's in his 30s.
Yeah.
He did not want kids back then, right? At all. He was like, I'm married, we're married, but I don't want kids at all. And the woman wanted kids. They ended up having 2 kids. He's the best father. He's one of the best fathers I know.
Of course.
He's the one who wakes up in the morning and just baths them, takes them to school, brings them back, and does all these things. So that's what I mean when I'm saying like it can go well even by mistake, because the path that is beyond us or beyond our comprehension, we do not know where it's going to lead us. You might find Soli is here. He's like, I can't wait to be a father. And then something happens and you guys are like, what happened to Soli? Like, doesn't make sense that Soli left. I remember like when we were in Makanda and I told you that I feel like because of something that happened, I know that like I'm also capable of being an absent father.
Yeah.
So it's that because of like the contributors
so
of
there is no,
the things that happen.
Like you said, there's no manual for it. There's no manual. And again,
but
thing is called findings. We're trying to find some type
of a thing.
Yeah, some type of a thing.
But this is guided by also fatherlessness, right? You're speaking about legacy and where to pass these things on to. But if you think greater things in life, I don't think family can comprehend or really take what we are building for the future. Your kid, my kid, what I'm creating, what I'm building is way huge. That is going to be for a country, for a world to inherit or to follow or to practice, right? Which I'm not erasing the fact that we need to have kids, but what we're thinking about is not a house that you're going to leave to your kids. You're thinking of paintings that are going to worth millions and millions of rands, right?
Yeah.
And then that will need a foundation to take care and administer those paintings and sell. And that is different surnames, different families, different generation benefiting from what we are creating, right? And if you look also in people who think the way we do, or we're creating things the way we create things, most of them don't have kids. If they do, they have one or two, and then they move on to create these huge things in the world because they want to shift how the world move or how the world behaves and all of that. So there's a greater thing that we're thinking about, which cannot only be subjected to only us, but as people, we need to have kids so that whatever that we are building and contributing towards, when we are laid to rest, that generation can inherit and move that forward. And then their kids are going to, because if all of us begin to think about not having kids, then what's the point? The end of us is the end.
Maybe some people do sort of fantasize about the end of us, right? Especially when you're living in a country where it is richly riddled with femicide and rape. I think fantasizing about that end isn't sort of like such a off thing to. I'm not saying obviously to manifest, but it's not such a terrible thing to imagine, right? And another question is, and this is a very difficult question even for myself to answer. I don't have the answer to this question I'm about to ask you. Would you, both of you, or have you considered adoption? Because there are kids that don't have families. And would you consider adoption? And if you haven't, why haven't you?
So I think it's a thing that I knew.
Also,
about.
sorry, before you answer, even whoever's watching this, maybe in the comment section, if you have been considered adoption, why haven't you? You know what I mean? I think all these questions that we're asking here, we can answer them also in the comment section. We will engage, and then we'll talk about some of the answers in the upcoming episodes. So I'm very interested in like, why is it that we're not a nation or a people that adoption is not a common conversation? I don't even think I've had a conversation in depth about adoption. Why is it that? Why is that? Why do you think is that?
For me, it's been I feel like I'm having. I can't call them nice life problems because they're not they're not so nice, right? When other people inherit the thing of like, maybe I do not want to have kids because I know it might be selfish of me to bring a kid in this world, or what if I leave them the same way my father left me? With me, it's a thing of I've been looking forward to fatherhood, especially like back then, right? I've been looking forward to fatherhood to a point that my head has considered a lot of possibilities of like, what if I'm infertile? What's going to happen? And this led me to, I knew it deep down, I never got to admit it. This led me to actually being able to date even some women with one kid, right? Going like, saying something deep down in yourself, like, even if it doesn't get to happen, I'll have someone, even if they will call me, I'm the dad of the household, right? So the first time the incident of the almost happened, I was shocked because there is, when you get to accept that you're accepting the worst in the context of me wanting to be a father. You accept the worst that, okay, maybe let's say I'm infertile. Right? And then a mistake like that happens. Someone conceives. And then you are glitching there. So it messes up with things, and then you get to be like, it didn't go full term or whatever happens. And then you go like, perhaps I probably will consider adoption, but as a last resort. And I don't know why. There's some fascination about
I'm interested. Yeah. Why haven't we considered adoption?
I mean, we've had this conversation, and my response was, I don't know why, but it hasn't crossed my mind that I need to adopt. And in my family, what we do, we are taking care of people. I cannot say their names, but there is a boy that we're taking care of, pay their rent, buy their food. There's another one we help with stuff. It's an adoption in a way.
It is adopting
but not
someone
in the house. Right?
Not an official, not in paper.
And taking care of my family, all of that. So there is that conversation, but I haven't really had a conversation about it in depth that we're going there to have there's kids who don't have parents and say we're taking them into a house and then we're raising them. So I've had that conversation in passing, but not in consideration and really saying, okay, look, now it's time. Let's adopt and let's have this kid. Let's raise this kid. But we're constantly helping, man. We're constantly adopting. We're constantly, there's a thing that we do that our friends needs to donate shoes and stuff. We really give that to the people that sort of adopted and taken care of them.
Yeah.
So I haven't in that fashion, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I'm not treating it as a bad.
I'm
or
not saying
good
you're
thing,
saying that. I'm
Oh,
not
sorry,
saying it's a
sorry,
bad.
sorry.
I think if I would see it and really see the possibilities, I would do it. I would do it. I would.
There's a fascination about blood.
Me, my
exactly. There's a
There's a
strange fascination,
fascination
especially
about
like in the black community,
Yes.
in the African community. There's this fascination about blood, but at the same time, again, putting it against the thesis of this podcast, which is fatherlessness. People that have a fascination about blood, but they will still leave their blood. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately,
I try not to buy into it like
most
that.
of this blood are on the corner asking for 2 rand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those legacy kids are there saying no maini, bro.
No maini. And those people are fathers.
Those people are
You know what I mean?
fathers,
Some
and
people-
those people are sons and daughters.
Oh yeah. And so some of them are fathers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So those people have fathers, those people are fathers.
They have kids, yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's one that we usually meet at the market theatre. When we park our cars, we'll say, I need something for my child. But they don't want Singwenyana for their kids. They want Singwenyana for themselves.
I just wish maybe the conversation, and this is not for us, this is not just for us, but also for the African community. I just wish the conversation about adoption shouldn't be such a taboo thing, right? Because I've known people that have beneficiaries of that sort of programs like that, and how their lives have changed almost mostly for the better. Obviously, everything has its own dark side, right? There's some people who adopt, black kids for whatever reason, they adopt, or some people are not necessarily prepared to have a child. They just
And some kids, they have mental illnesses, they're psychotic and all of that.
Some kids have traumas because where they have ended up, they didn't end up there by choice. Some families push them away, violence, but whatever. I'm just saying, like, I just wish it's not a taboo. The conversation shouldn't be such a strange thing.
Also, I'm not saying there's an answer, but also to add in this findings thing is we're living in broken communities, right?
Yes.
We live in a community where we know most families in Tembisa, in Freedom Square, Pumasi, Mandela, Ivory Park, child-led Pumasi. There's an informal settlement in Tembisa. So I grew up in an informal settlement called Mandela Gofa. Mandela Gofa. We're not gonna die. And then there's another one now, it's Pumasi. I think it's Freedom Square. But it's known as Pumasi. But in these families, my friend, these families are broken families. They're led by kids. As a community, we can begin by putting hands in those
ones,
spaces,
and try and also contribute. Because sometimes we can't, all of us, be able to adopt. But the adoption is to go back to, it takes a village to raise a child.
Redefining adoption, not necessarily on paper, but also
100%. Because it's easy to look good with adoption, but your family does not speak to you.
True.
Your grandchildren don't even know you exist, So it's easier for that. But I think the conversation that needs to be had in this country is, how do we raise the next generation as the older generation?
This reminds me of Masai is familiar with the poem. Yeah, you actually familiar with the poem, Golis, as well. There are songs that chose which throats to come out of. Their chests curved by the meandering names of their children, and we are all songs written on the breaths of our mothers. But sometimes our composer fathers never got to sing out our names. Dust rested on their bodies before their souls got to speak, or their feet walked them away from home. Some of us are songs misplaced in certain mouths. Children wonder if they should be coming out of their fathers' mouths. Bastard children are cover songs, sung by those who've learned to stay and say other people's verses. Some, if not most songs, are better sung by those who didn't compose them. other artists do not know how to appreciate their art. So yes, it reminds me of that. I think maybe that's one of the when I got to think a lot about just children, fathers, biological, or coming in a form of like adoption. Yeah, so it just regurgitated that memory.
I mean, also like, it's almost like un-African, at least un-Sepedi, because I was raised, you know, in Limpopo.
Yeah.
That, you know, a child would go, you know, on without food. That's, we know people. We know people like we know some families where we don't know whose mother, or we know the mother and the father. We never met them, but this kid grew up with us.
And
they go to school with us.
They eat with us.
They eat with us.
We share clothes and shoes with them.
They even share the same name sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? They're adopted in that sense that they share the same name. And then, but we know that, you know, their parents, it's because of like lack.
I think
but
the structure,
the structure
of what is called adoption is just, it's been there, but in a different manner.
In a different manner, yeah.
It's the thing of like, my child or the child of my relative will not make it to the door of another person's stranger when there are people here, right? We do have a relative I know, like great-grandfather or grandmother, whereby she had children. And when things didn't go well, Koboradi, and when she came back, the siblings, they always like, no, give me one. And they were there. And they grew up in all these different places.
Yes.
And when they grew to a certain time where the mother was now fine and they were all able to come.
To reunite,
Yes. So I think that's why it's the structure.
I think something happened. The further south, well, for us at least, who are from the north, the further south we come into the country, the more we lose that sense of community, right? Because it's not very common in, you know, the further south you go.
Yeah, but that community died, you know? There was from both sides, because I know my father ran away, but my mother made sure that we know my grandmothers, my grandfather from my father and from her side. Homes were homes when these grandparents were still alive. Homes were homes, Joe. I don't know how they did what they did. But with our grandmothers, homes were homes.
What are we not getting now as this?
I don't know.
There was something. I was, because like I'm a village boy, right? I had the privilege of
not
also,
you only. We also.
I know.
Why are you like bragging?
I mean, I know like what are we all.
I'm
so
joking,
it's that thing. I
I'm
know.
Yeah.
It's that thing of. I tell people that I'm glad my parents like took me back home, that I grew up in that place. I got to witness what is unfortunate. I'm gonna definitely, it is actually unfortunate in terms of like the whole translation of not even culture or times, maybe times, right? Whereby I'm calling someone, and then after that gets about a certain bowels are going to Buragolo.
Yes. That's gone.
It's gone. And you know how it started. I can recall in terms of like my family, we would be doing that, and I remember, and I'm a culprit in this one. Buragolo, rest in peace to him. Batlhabile, bastise dikgwatla. And then we slaughtered. And when we slaughtered, and then my granny is like, oh,
When I swat
so it became that. So it was that. I think that's where it's like when people started being selfish and thinking only about themselves. That's where it actually just tore open. It's a thing of like, everything is ours. Even as much as you have your family to build, when someone comes by, it was normal to eat, whether it's in the neighbors or my relatives. And maybe that's why, like, back then, fatherlessness wasn't felt. Perhaps it did have impact, but you knew that it indeed takes a village to raise a child, because I can find where to eat.
Yeah, there's something that my mom once told me, said, being a father is not only by blood, but it's privilege. Right? That the mother would decide who the father is, especially if you're not married.
Of course.
So if a woman would be pregnant and will be in a relationship with
Yeah,
Masai, like Masai can't father this
this
kid.
one is
this one is gonna write poems and it's not gonna be home.
Okay, whoa,
and then
chill
slowly
with the poetry. Yeah, things make money. That is a lot of money. What are you talking about?
And then slowly would be
Yeah.
suitable to be a father. And the mother would say, hey, this is your kid. And if you're infertile, like Solu was saying that maybe I can't have kids.
Yeah.
They would ask someone in the family to
But that's what-
impregnate your wife and then you become the father of that kid.
I mean,
And
that's
it
what you
remains
feel like
that.
in most black families, African families, old families. If you ask the father about like DNA testing, they're like, Akiko.
I can never find that out.
All of you guys are my
sharp.
children.
It ends
Yeah,
there.
I'm fine.
And I'm taking care of you.
I don't
Yeah,
even
I'm
want to
taking
think
And I'm
care
about
gonna
of
raise you and you're gonna love each other.
Yes, because
That's all.
even Ilya know about Mumora. Oh, it's a bit but he's never gonna bring that up, right?
Yeah, I think it would be like.
But also, it's because he knows it's a cheating with somewhere.
Hey.
He knows that no. Yeah. You know what I mean? But now, right now, Mutuakar, this is not your child. Yo.
There's a play
Yeah.
Stress that we go through.
There's something about like.
There's something about that just like, hey,
I
what
won't
do
be
you
able to
mean?
make
I'm
kids,
taking
Mara.
care of someone's
Yeah, but
child.
we live in like infinity scroll. We live in TikToks. We
Yeah,
live in
yeah, yeah.
television. We live in this time of social media.
Yeah.
So it's creating a lot of, I don't want to say stupid ideas or
Yeah.
some sort of fear, some
Yeah.
sort of another thing that exists in our heads, which the previous generation did not live in those spaces.
Yeah.
And so they don't have the information and the fears that we have.
Yeah.
Because we're scared. I mean, we're scared. If we are honest, how many clinics that are offering abortions and it went high, even though the birth rate we're saying is going down.
Yeah.
People still get laid.
still get pregnant
Yeah.
and they terminate,
So
which is
the-
everyone's right to do so.
So that's another thing we could throw in the spanner. Right? Earlier on when we were talking about the unemployment rate and the dropping of birth rate,
It's like, yeah.
What you're saying is that and the drop in birth rate is also accompanied by the rise in abortions. You know, that we're having in the country. So it's not like people are not falling pregnant. People are falling pregnant.
They are,
People
yeah.
are just
People are
terminating.
busy.
Yeah, people are just terminating. You know,
Yeah.
the thing, and also that is also fine. That's the decision that the people are
Yeah.
making in their own
And
time.
I don't think is wrong.
No, man, I don't think it is either. I think
You feel attacked today, no?
no, guys, I'm not feeling attacked. What the fuck? I'm just here to ask questions. No.
We're
I'm
here
just
to-
saying that it is having a child is a lifetime commitment.
Yes, forever.
Right? And Exactly. You know when no have. Right? As a father or as a mother, you know what's going on in your head. And someone tells you like, oh, on top of that, there's a child coming. Yeah, that's, you know what I mean?
Something.
Already I am setting them up for worse. Because not only that, I've been contemplating I'm not talking about me personally, but I've been contemplating of ending my life. You telling me there's life inside of me? Even me, I don't want this
But you
thing.
know the rules here, you cannot buy, like the birth control in this country does not really allow you to participate in it.
What? Yeah, no.
So you can't go to Clicks and say you are going to buy birth control.
Of course.
pills. They will not
Yeah,
gonna sell it
yes.
them
Me,
to you.
I'm not.
But
yeah.
So this is where I want to land is a child is not the mother's responsibility alone.
Yeah.
I understand. They say,
Yeah.
but this kid will grow in this woman's body. But when that body growing is done, this kid becomes my responsibility too.
As
It's
well,
my
yes.
kid.
Yeah.
Even during the whole thing.
Yeah, but
yes.
how then do I participate when I say, hey, baby, I don't want to have kids now. Maybe we'll have kids in the future, whatever the case may be in whoever.
Yeah.
Then take part in saying, okay, baby, more tries bring back the prevention pills or bring
Yes,
me
yes.
whatever pill that I need around birth control.
Yeah.
But you as a male, you're not allowed to do that.
You can always do a
vasectomy. But I think I saw
What is it?
was it
Vasectomy.
Vasectomy, thank you.
it's vasectomy.
You can always do a vasectomy.
I saw like I think they would do. I don't know how that. I'll get to research on it. Like
Yeah.
in terms of male contraceptives,
They're getting
that
there.
they've been
Yeah, they're
doing.
getting
Yeah,
there.
lately,
Yeah, they're getting there. Yeah.
So I wonder.
Yeah, but
I mean, there's also
my thing is,
vasectomy, yeah.
if we get to that, most of us, we learn sex in the street. I mean,
Yes.
we
True,
learn sex from our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we learn sex from our friends and we find ourselves in certain problems and comfortabilities and whatever because we learn it from our friends. I think it's our responsibility not to allow our kids to learn sex from their friends because we know better now.
Yeah.
And then that also changes the conversation around birth control in this country. And that also contributes in the fatherlessness because we understand what we are putting ourselves into, right? Because in this country, from the age of 12, you can prevent without...
Which is a weird age to
Yeah.
prevent because
And
like
you
why?
can have, if you are pregnant at 12, you can have abortion without the
Yeah.
consent of your parents, right?
Yeah.
So those things, they exist.
Wait, you can have abortion at 12 without the
Yeah,
consent of
12,
your
you
parents?
can
Really?
abort, yeah.
That's insane. I don't know
You can
that.
abort. You can abort.
Yes, I get the abortion bit, but without the consent of a parent at
Yeah,
12.
I mean, at 12,
That's
you
wild.
have a right to abort.
That is insane. Especially because like the right age of consent is nowhere close to 12.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's an insane.
But who are the fathers of these kids that gave birth at 13, 14, 15, 16?
But also that's a product of either negligence of parents or rape.
Yeah.
Right.
Because unfortunately, sometimes the fathers are the
sometimes
ones
isn't
who-
sometimes it isn't necessarily like rape. It's just like two negligent people at like 13, 14 having sex, you're gonna fall pregnant.
Yeah, sure.
Right? That is also a
And
reality.
that also contributes to the fatherlessness.
That
Because
also
they're going to
contributes-
grow and
that
be
also
different.
contributes to the fatherlessness.
And Ola Sanjura Eskolong and others.
Yeah. But again, we don't want to take out the equation the rape element of it. That's also
Yeah, it's also high.
It's also high.
You see,
Yes,
femicide and rape in this country is extremely high.
it's worrisome high.
yeah,
It's worrisome high.
because there's certain cases that because I sit on YouTube
Yeah,
a lot,
yeah.
there's certain cases that you watch and say like,
How?
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like,
how?
You know what I mean? And also, you don't want to belittle it to such a small, easy fix like, it's mental illness. I think that's an easy fix.
barbaric, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly. It is barbaric.
Yeah,
It
you
is-
can't.
It is opportunistic. It is power. It is.
I mean,
yeah.
there's a crazy case that I don't want to be wrong, but I think the ones that were busted in Midrand, they were running a child pornography thing
Yeah.
in South Africa. Like, and then we have to speak about adoption. We need to.
Yeah.
There are broken things in this country that we need.
So
to
we're
solve.
not even ready to talk about abortion. I mean, adoption rather.
Yeah.
Abortion and adoption because of the nature of the brokenness of the society.
I had this interesting conversation when we were in the Free State this year. So in the conversation, there was one interesting question
Yeah.
that Shelley asked is, in prostitution,
Yeah.
who is the prostitute? The one who's buying or the one who's selling?
I mean, this is the one who's selling.
How?
What do you mean how? That's the definition of it. Someone who makes money off of selling, sex or a sexual experience. Does not
The service provider, not the client.
Yeah, I mean, that's the definition. Unless you
But
want
if
to
there's no buyer, there's no prostitution.
if there's no buyer.
You still have
there's
your
no
cokes in
buyer
the
at
fridge,
all.
even if muthu mongwe a tla reka.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
if you're the person that is selling, I mean, obviously male or female, they're male prostitutes. If you're out of business, effectively.
But who's prostituting who?
No. I think the question is not necessarily the who's the prostitutes, is who between the two of them is maybe promiscuous or who's. Because they are not doing it out of.
Yeah, whose fathers are these?
You know what I mean? They're not doing it out of like lust. They're doing it out of its job. You are there who's the last, right? You are the one who's promiscuous. That's hence you're doing this thing, and that leads.
So
me
you're
to
doing art because
who?
you.
I'm an artist.
So you're not doing it to make money out of it.
No, I'm an artist first.
You're just doing it.
No, I'm an artist first. That will never change. I don't.
But you said your paintings are making money.
Yeah, they are making money. There's a little conversation that I had with this other lady. She's like, I don't make art to make money. I make money so I can make art. You know what I mean? My art costs. So I need to make the money so that I can make the art.
We all know. We all know. I know the art is very expensive.
The art is theater is.
We're just selling our time.
Theater
we
is
can't sell
so
our art.
expensive.
Yeah,
theater is crazy expensive. You know what I mean? A tube of paint, a good tube of paint, could cost you north of 150 to 300 to one color. One tube. Mutu atare wa mpente.
But they're gonna pay.
No. Yes, if you're paying you for a client, I understand. Yeah. Do you think that South Africa stands to benefit from the government burning pornography? Because we have a pandemic.
I don't know. Like, I really don't participate in those things. So I don't know if pornography in this country is produced here or
it isn't
makes
produced
any
here.
money or anything.
I mean, some of it is here, but the
major players,
the major players are international players.
Yeah,
right.
So if they ban it, they lose nothing.
There is a pandemic in the country with pornography. Do you think that we stand to benefit if we ban it, or not? Maybe people then would not have an outlet, in that way, right? And maybe we don't have that answer. Then you guys might have the answer. Do you think the country stand to benefit if we do ban pornography? Because then it will prevent things like child pornography. And if you do record them, they would have to just be exported. It's not something that you could show us, right? Because it's we don't have to have that answer, but I think we do have a problem. Yeah. I'm looking at time. That's why I'm posing the question to the comment section.
People. Yeah,
because I'm like, do we think we stand? I think so. I think there's a problem that we're not talking about. I think good.
Yes. So I think we'll leave it even on the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Now it's the question of what do you guys think there in the comment section? Does it contribute to that?
Yeah.
And hopefully, actually, we will get to have an episode that will
dive into that. Yeah.
Hopefully, dive into that.
Because I'm
fascinated
by that. It's everywhere.
Yeah, true.
Yo, it's so everywhere.
I understand.
It's so easy accessibility of it all.
I mean, you don't pay to watch pornography. It's on Facebook.
It's like Facebook.
Yeah, it's like It's not like Facebook.
It's not even like
it's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. Like you could just be scrolling on Twitter and then, and obviously someone can you can have the settings to deactivate that. That's fine. I've done that, right? But my brother is on Twitter, it's on Facebook, he's on everywhere. My sister is, you know what I mean? A lot of people are on that thing. And we don't talk about how addictive that sort of, thing is and what other compounding effects it might have in our community.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone who is of non-gender, we are still on Finding, and then this is where we discuss when, why, and where all the fathers have gone and how. This is an investigation of how fatherless homes are affected. So we are still here, and we're just navigating around that, and this is episode 3. What in an elevator pitch would you guys want to say as a good bye or as a shout out to the audience?
I think have a community as a man, a group of people you trust that you can have conversations with about your life. Even the silliest things that, you think they're not worthy of having a conversation about, bring them up. You know what I mean? Ask as many questions as you want and listen to each other and have that conversation. I think a lot of us think or deem our problems unique and to us, but I could be going through the same thing that you're going through, but because I think it's maybe unique or special just to me, I don't bring it up, right? I think bring up everything, right? Bring up your struggle with rent, bring up your struggle with your partner, bring up your struggle with your mental health. We're like, oh yeah, you're describing OCD. Yeah, that's not like, you need help with Dr. Sbanbani, here's the contacts that could help you with. We're just not having those honest conversations. We talk in length about football, about gambling, about women, We talk in length about that, but never really about this small things that also adds up to bigger things.
Yeah.
So have the silliest conversations. All my friends know that I will call you randomly and ask you about the economy or your thoughts about
politics
or thoughts about aliens or religion, whatever. Have those conversations. Open yourself up, and then you will be heard, and then you'll be understood. And when you're going through something, people will like, you're going through something, because we would know you in length, would know you. Sure, 'cause a lot of us don't know our friends. So when even when they're going through something, we can't pick it up.
Because you don't know,
Because I don't know you.
Yeah.
I only know you. I only like call you like, Chiefs lost.
Oh,
yeah. And that's
Grandson is coming up. Are you taking some work there?
yeah, that's the length of our conversation. I don't know who you are. I don't know you. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We need to have more conversations like this. We're discovering each other, the three of us, during
we
three
don't know.
episodes already. I'm just like, whoa, this guy.
For me I'm interested in this thing of building communities, like Masai was saying. But I'm not really interested in building it with men only. I'm really interested in building a community with all genders, right?
True, yeah.
Non-gender, gender fluid, everyone, so that we could begin to create a world that we all want to exist in.
Yeah.
Because all our works and all our collaboration has been man.
True.
Right. And now, same when we started the episode, when you're saying something in you is moving and shifting, something in me is moving and shifting too. And I think is this collaboration and this podcast and these conversations we are having, and now we're having them openly. People are watching, and we give them a permission to say what they think about what we think and how we see life. And for me, and all three of us as males here, I think we need to build a community that is very inclusive. Really inclusive. I don't know how, but I mean, we started the conversation. Maybe our producer there, I think you should think about maybe having a female, having
female perspective.
On our conversations. Even if they could be a regular guest, maybe after 3-4 episodes, they come and share their thoughts. So I think if we could find a female who can have this conversation with us in contributing to this thing that I'm thinking about of building the world that we all want to coexist in. And this also, again, I'm raising a female child, right? I'm really concerned about what particular world she's going to grow up to live in. And hence I'm saying I'm interested in my peers that think the way I do. And this is an open invitation, to come and really take part in us building this world.
Shout out.
And that's the closing for episode 3.
Subscribe. Please subscribe.
Share,
subscribe.
And let's expand the conversation.
Yes, let's build the community. Thank you to those who subscribed and follow us and comment and all of those things. We thank you. We are out.
Shut up.
Away.